Nice day out in Flanders. 270 kilometers of bike riding. If you're up for it, we start at 10 a.m. European time in the morning. And remember, we're going to daylight saving time. So 1 hour less of sleep tonight, Matt.
Thank you for reminding me. Blimey, I completely forgot about that.
Hold off on the beers tonight. Don't drink too many Belgian beers before you go into the commentary box tomorrow.
I will save that till
Rob.
Sunday, yeah. Thank you.
That's a good plan. That's a good plan. .4 kilometers to go. And the winner of the Volta Next Classic is either going to be Timo Kielich or Pascal Eenkhoorn. Pascal Eenkhoorn in the red. And yeah, what kind of colour is it actually? Greenish, blue, teal? What colour should we call it? I have no idea. But he was on the attack on his own. He was about to be caught when Timo Kielich there in the denim of Alpecin de Koning bridged across. These are the chasers with Frank van der Broek, Joe Blackmore, Johan Meens, Francesco Bussato, and the teammates of our two leaders, Henry Ulich, Tobias Bayer of Alpecin de Koning, and Harm van Hoeken of Lotto Destiny. And we have Jelle Johanning there in last place, who is going to add a top 10 to his already impressive debut in the pro ranks. He is such a powerful guy, comes from the town of Denenkamp, where Henny Kuiper is also from, Mr. Paris-Roubaix from the past, such a powerful rider. But our winner is here. We are on our local circuit, 6 kilometers around Eysden.
Yeah, they've got to keep
riding.
Money,
both of our money is actually on the man in blue, isn't it?
Yeah, Eenkhoorn has won big bike races, as you said. You can just see the tipping on his sleeves there as being a Dutch national road race champion. But I think he's going to be hard pushed to beat this man. The only way he can try things is to try and manoeuvre himself into second spot. But again, you're coming out of that corner, although it's not wet, so you're carrying a little bit of pace into that corner, but it's one you have to shave off a bit of speed. The sprint is from a relatively slow pace, like 15, 20 k's an hour. And that, I think, is going to favour the far more explosive man in denim just on the front. He's on the radio at the moment, just double-checking what the situation is before. And I have a feeling that Eenkhoorn might play around a little bit now. Blackmore is moving through to the front, just making sure they're keeping the momentum going, making sure he doesn't make too many enemies in this group by sitting on entirely. 19 seconds of the gap. It's come down a bit. I'm just wondering whether Eenkhoorn, knowing he is the weaker sprinter, might actually try and force Timo Kielich to ride it all the way through. He might give him a couple more turns, but we shall see. But Eenkhoorn sat in second wheel at the moment. Not long to go. But what is Eenkhoorn going to do here? Because, as you say, on paper, the far stronger sprinter is the man in front. Will Eenkhoorn just sit on? I think he looks like he might be. Here we go. Look, no, he's not sitting on. He's totally sitting on.
Yeah, he's not going to do it. Of course, 2.5 kilometers in just 19 seconds. There's not a lot of room to play around. You have to keep on riding. Otherwise, that group behind you will be coming back. Timo Kielich keeps the pace high. He will be frustrated, of course, due to the lack of cooperation of Pascal Eenkhoorn. But Timo Kielich knows that he has to keep on riding. He's got two of his teammates behind, but out of the 3 Alpecin de Koning riders in the lead of the race at the moment, he is the far superior sprinter.
Yeah.
Eenkhoorn is sitting on. We have a tailwind at the moment, so he's not really profiting all that much. But the race director cars moves up, which indicates that the gap is coming down. This is really playing it high by Pascal Eenkhoorn.
It's poker. Do you know what? I think it's a risky job, but I think he's doing the right thing. He's basically forcing Timo Kielich to ride on the front, who knows that there's a bit of a chase behind, a couple of little accelerations. I still think they've got enough in hand. They can actually see them just up in front there. There they are. That's what it looks like here. So we've got the riders behind really starting to push things on. It's Frank van den Broek driving now. So if they go to a walking pace, they could actually be caught now. I think it's come down. You can see van den Broek urging everybody to come through. The only rider to roll through is now Bussato, followed by Jelle Johanning. Coming up to nearly 1 kilometre to go. And still Pascal Eenkhoorn is is taking a little bit of a gamble here. But what he's doing in the process, as well as sitting in the wheel and forcing this man in front to ride that little bit harder, spending a little bit more energy, he's frustrating him as well. He's making him nervous. And even if you're a great sprinter, if you're nervous and not confident and frustrated, that's worth quite a lot. We shall see if it pans out. But I think whatever transpires here, Eenkhoorn, I think, has actually done the right thing. It's a risky strategy, but I don't think he could have done this any other way.
We're inside the final kilometer of the Volta Next Classic. Pascal Eenkhoorn himself is not a really bad sprinter. Let's just say he's not what we call in Dutch a pannenkoek, a pancake. He can actually sprint to the finish line, and he is really making Timo Kilich angry. From anger sometimes comes strength and a little bit of extra power. We are making our way towards that final corner. Pascal Eenkhoorn is in the better position. They're both glancing over their shoulder to see where the chasing group is. The pace is now going down. The last time check we got was just 15 seconds. Our chasing group is really not that far back. They can't play this game for too much time, otherwise the chasing group will be able to come back. Pascal Eenkhoorn is going for the surprise move here in the streets of Eijsden. What can Timo Kilich still do? Looks like he has... Nope, he's going for that final corner in first place, so he did choose the tactic to go in first place. And now it's up to Timo Kilich to try and match the speed of Pascal Eenkhoorn. It's going to be a really tight sprint, but in the end, Timo Kilich is the better sprinter. He keeps on sprinting, but we saw that Pascal Eenkhoorn bows his head. Timo Kilich wins for Alpecin de Koning. Pascal Eenkhoorn, one place better than last year, but still only second. And then a third place for Alpecin de Koning with Tobias Bayer in third, Bussato in fourth. It was tactical play, the sprint with the two, but Timo Kilich in the end was the stronger sprinter.
Yeah, I think Pascal Eenkhoorn, he did it. That little rueful shake of the head as he crossed the line said it all, but Eenkhoorn rode well there. He knew he was up against a better sprinter. So what do? You sit on. You force this man to be stressed. You force him into the wind. But in the end, he still had enough of a kick. Great ride by Pascal Eenkhoorn to try and get into that corner first, to try and create a bit of a gap. But Timo Kilich was never really far off the wheel. And as we saw, was by far the better sprinter, had a really strong kick. And Eenkhoorn had to concede defeat in the end. So a first and a third for the men in denim. Double denim today.
Double denim. That's a good one. And like I said, he's from just across the border. In Sint-Truiden is where he was born. This is the peloton, just a minute behind our leaders. Look at how tight this finale is. I'm happy that we sprinted with just two riders, because this could have been a pretty dangerous finale. Is this Jarno Vidar? Well, we'll see.
Milan Menton, I think that might have been.
We'll see on the result sheet. But this is what's left of the peloton. And of course, he's waiting for his teammates. Looks like the family also came over to watch.
Hey, fuck. You're third? Oh, thanks, man.
Henry Ulich there with number 7 also played a pretty important role in the win. They had 3 riders up front and played it really well. We saw that Julia Kopecki is also moving to the podium, so we're going to have a joint podium ceremony for the women's race and the men's race coming up now in the Volta Next Classic. Let's see it from the helicopter shot. Matt, take us through the final corner.
Well, there we go. Eenkhoorn did that little acceleration, took the corner first. I mean, that gives you a little bit of an advantage, especially on this these cobbles. But then just look at the speed of the man that ultimately took the victory, Timo Kilich, in a probably 1 or 2 sprockets higher. Just that raw strength, checks the gap. He's almost got a 1 or 2 second time gap in the end. Nothing more that Eenkhoorn could have done. The fastest sprinter won it, but he certainly gave himself a fighting chance. That experience that Eenkhoorn has, he knew he was going to be up against it, so forced the quicker man to lead out for the best part of 2.5 kilometres, causing him a lot of frustration. But in the end, it was no match for that raw, violent power that the young Belgian possesses, and takes his first win of the season. And they back it up with a 3rd place as well.
Big smiles there. his second professional win. Last year, you mentioned it, Matt, that win in Tour de Wallonie in July was his first professional win. And this is number 2 and number 7 for the Alpecin de Koning team. Who knows, tomorrow might be number 8, but he can be the biggest favourite of them all tomorrow in the Tour of Flanders, as Mathieu van der Poel quite naturally is. But you still have to do it. It's 270 kilometres of bike racing. We got all the iconic hills. You can have mechanicals, you can have crashes, you can have whatever on your road. It's not a given that Mathieu van der Poel wins his second Tour of Flanders tomorrow. Not at all. So please tune in. We'll be there from the start for you to enjoy. Timo Kilich wins the Volta Next Classic ahead of Pascal Eenkhoorn, Henry Ulich, Bussato, Meens, Johannink, Bayer, Blackmore, Van der Broek and Van Hoeken. That is our top 10 on a rather